Chapter 6, entitled Relations Sarvabhaumas. Text 176. मध्ये कलित दोषीतील त्याच्या पूर्वपक्ष अपारगतील मध्ये this manner. कल्पित भाष्य दोषीतील कल्पित भाष्य and natural commentary. Material दोषीतील commentary false to natural commentary and त्याच्या पूर्वपक्ष opposite side. Apar is presented unlimited opposition. Only saying that man commits against his will, say against him. So it is very rare that a person, not very common, that a person changes one's opinion just after a discussion or a debate. Even if the person is transmitted the debate, still the person often tries to figure out some way in some of their face. Right? Come back for another battle already. Now, the past, especially in tradition and scholars today, they give it differently. Of course, it's not like all scholars who write 200 segments. Right? In upper hand, but overall, the debates compared to honorability. And honorability participation requires also code of honor for conduct for scholars. So, it's in the Mahaprabhu started presenting some arguments to keep the personal conceptions about the scripture and about each of the aspects. Actually, Sarvabhauma, Bhattacharya didn't go down without a fight. There is an Abara, he presented stiff resistance. Not only person of quite attached to opinion, even that opinion formed by just a few minutes of thought. But Sarvabhaumas was not ordinary person, he was a scholar, not just an ordinary scholar, but someone quite some reputation. He was one of the foremost scholars of science. So much so that the king of Puri eventually invited Sarvabhauma to come and stay in Puri, thereby demonstrating how the king appreciates Sarvabhauma's scholarship. That later in the Chittaganga, it's the commitment relationship Sarvabhauma has with the king Pratapudra. And how Pratapudra considers something a very practically no deep theological discussions. They are largely descriptions of the various pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, and those pastimes, and the narration of those pastimes is interspersed periodically with strong devotional realizations and philosophical assertions. But usually none of these are reasoned in any particular way, but instead they are just presented as de facto truths. So, from such a mode of presentation, it becomes clear that the other works like Chaitanya Bhagavad, Chaitanya Mangal are primarily for insiders. They are not meant to convince the unconvinced, rather they are meant for the tasteful relishing by the convinced. Convinced here refers to the divinity of Lord Chaitanya and the supremacy of his position as the absolute truth, which means that he will have the supreme intelligence. And though Sarvabhaumas was phenomenally intelligent, still Lord Chaitanya was able to defeat him because he ultimately is the source of everyone's intelligence, including Sarvabhauma's intelligence too. So, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he goes into much greater detail with respect to theological reflection in his book than do the other biographers of Lord Chaitanya. But still, even while going into theological reflection into some detail, some significant detail, still Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is constrained by both by all three things actually, by the fear that the book may become too long, by the fear that he is already too old and he may not live long enough to complete the book, and by the concern that over technical analysis that goes on for a very long time may alienate readers whose benefit he desires by compiling the glories of Lord Chaitanya. Therefore, for all these purposes, for the sake of length, for the sake of time, and for the sake of
audience capacities, Sarvam Bhattacharya keeps the discussion in this book not very technical and not very detailed. So he's continuing to give a summary description in this verse too. A summary description was given in the previous verse also. And the same theme is being continued here now. Now, Lord Chaitanya is describing many different arguments, and Sarvabhaumas uses all the tricks of the trade to try to wiggle his way out. Vitanda Chala. Vitanda is a form of argument wherein the purpose is not to come to a constructive solution but to simply succeed in refuting the opponent's position. But this is not a constructive debate, but it's a destructive debate, where the point is not to point out what is right, to find out what is right, but it is simply to make sure that the opponent is not proven to be wrong. And normally, respected scholars will not use such strategies unless it is like a last strategy, because nothing else is working. Which is indeed the case with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who, based on Shankara's Bhashya and his profound scholarship, he uses various means to somehow or the other establish his proposition as the correct one. And when he finds that he's still not able to, what to speak of win, even defend his position, it's like in a, say, a tennis match. Normally both players will play as well as they can and will try to win. But if a player finds that, oh, I'm getting defeated, especially if that player is a champion player, then the consideration of ego, the desire to save face somehow or the other, may make the person do desperate things. Make that a person who is about to be defeated do desperate things. And that the person may ask for some breaks. Although such breaks are often seen as tactical. Just before, say, the final set of the final game of a match, a person asks, so ask for some break. So such break is meant to disturb the flow of the opponent's momentum, and thereby gain a greater chance of coming back into the game. Now this is called as gamesmanship, which is actually said to be different from sportsmanship. Sportsmanship is one has the proper spirit, whereas gamesmanship means one tries various forms of trickery. Not anything that directly breaks the rules of cricket, but still something which touches the border of those rules and letters, and also to some extent violates the spirit, even if it doesn't directly violate the letter. So either way, Sarvabhaumas tried such things. Vitanda Chala Nigrahadi Aneka Uthaila. So if we envision these two debaters, like two sword fighters, then they were both skillfully and gracefully dancing back and forth, thrusting and parrying and swinging and hitting, cutting. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was trying various strategies to somehow cope with the situation. But despite his best effort, he found that he just couldn't counter Lord Chaitanya, and eventually, as we see, that he will not only be defeated, but he will be transformed. How Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brings that about, we'll see in our future sessions. Thank you.